what is this intuition that everybody nowadays talk about? And if you have this good knowledge base, your brain is going to immediately trigger you. You will be able to come up with new solution on the new problems based on your existing problem. If we start solving the problem in this particular orientation or with this particular technique or with this particular data structure, it can get solved. It will help you to solve the problems faster. A lot of time when I take lectures, a lot of students even request that, okay, what is the intuition behind this particular problem? How you were able to think about this particular problem and so on. You are able to put all of that knowledge immediately in place. Extremely important in scenarios where you have a time-bound situation. So without any further delay, let's just start and let's try to decipher what is this intuition and what are some of the key ways in which you can improve it. Also, if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, I would highly recommend you guys to subscribe to the channel. This is going to help us a lot in reaching out to more people, and we are going to put some really awesome content on the channel. So without any further ado, let's just start. So before moving forward, I would like to discuss about a brand new offering that we have at Algocamp. So if you are somebody who already knows software development and are very much intrigued by the crazy amount of stuff that you can actually develop using the knowledge of your software development, then this is going to be something interesting for you. So if you're somebody who loves to take deeper dive into everything and wants to understand that how exactly scalable systems are developed, not just on the high level part, but on the low level coding implementation part as well, then we have actually launched our brand new system design course, which includes both the low level design aspect and the high level design aspect of the scalable systems. In this particular course, with respect to HLD, we are going to talk about a lot of systems, including system design of things like Uber, streaming systems like Netflix, how you can actually design your own ad click aggregator, how you can design scalable notifications, how you can design code deployment systems, and many more. There are tons and tons of high level design problems that we have added. Apart from that, there are a lot of interesting system design concepts that we have actually added, including design patterns like saga pattern, anti-corruption layer pattern. We have also added orchestration pattern and some other interesting aspects around caching layer, blob storages, and whatnot. This is going to be a power-packed course for high-level design, and along with that, there is low-level design as well, where we are going to talk about solid principle, we are going to talk about tons and tons of different design patterns, and we are going to solve a lot of problems, including designing your own logger, designing kind of like a chess game, designing kind of like a book my show system, a splitwise, and whatnot. This low-level design part is going to technically prepare you for any kind of a low-level design or object-oriented interview, as well as for your machine coding interviews as well. This is going to be definitely a power-packed live course where we are going to talk about everything end-to-end in system design, and we have also added some additional topics around concurrency and testing as well. So what are you waiting for? All the details about this particular course is actually mentioned in the description section below. Go there, check it out, and use this particular coupon code to actually get the maximum possible discount, and see you guys in the course. That being said, let's go back to the video. So let me help you first of all understand what is this intuition and how you can understand it in easy manner. Okay, so I'm assuming that most of the people who are actually watching this video, at least 80% or 70% of you guys must have actually driven some kind of a vehicle, maybe a cycle, a motorbike, or a car on the roads. Now, there are a lot of things that goes on with intuition while you are actually driving, right? You do not know the actual measurement of probably anything. You do not know how far exactly in kilometers or meters the other vehicles are from you, and you try to make a decision based on some kind of a gut feeling. Okay, so remember this word gut feeling, and this is something that goes on in a lot of situations, right? That sometimes you get a feeling from inside that, okay, probably doing this much amount of work in this particular way is gonna be mostly suitable for me, right? Sometimes, let's say, if you go by the rules, then whenever you have to overtake a car, you can only overtake a car from the right side according to the rule. But sometimes you get a gut feeling, right? That, okay, the complete left side is absolutely empty. We can even overtake from the left side if in case there is something going bad with the right side. Moral of the story is, this thing intuition is more or less your gut feeling. This is something that your unconscious brain is going to immediately trigger based on your past experiences, based on your knowledge base, that like how much experience you have gained for any particular set of things. And then it will get kind of like immediately triggered that, okay, probably this is going to be the way in which we should go for. This is what intuition is. And how intuition actually plays an important role in problem solving. Let's start talking about that. Role of intuition in problem solving. Now, as I mentioned, this intuition is nothing but your gut feeling. And this gut feeling gets even more stronger based on your knowledge base and experience. Now just think about it. If let's say you have solved 500 odd problems. Now the moment you will start solving your 501th problem altogether, you have a knowledge base of 500 problems. There is a good chance, there is a highly likely chance that the new problem that you are going to be solving is going to be inspired by some of the older problems that you have already solved. And if you have this good knowledge base, your brain is going to immediately trigger you that, okay, probably we have solved this question earlier using, let's say, binary search, or let's say manipulating a few things around merge sort. Maybe that kind of an approach can directly go forward with this problem. And how will you notice this? You will notice this by looking at patterns. That, okay, in the previous set of problems that I actually solved, there were a few things that were noticeable. Maybe the data was arranged in a specific manner, maybe the constraints were present in a specific manner, and so on. And based on these observations, based on these patterns, and based on the existing problems that you have solved, you will be able to come up with new solution on the new problems based on your existing problem. Now keep one thing in mind. Intuition is something that you are going to develop with time. The more problems you solve, the more knowledge base you are going to get into, the more intuitive feeling you are going to get for new problems. Sometimes this can be wrong as well. For example, a lot of time with greedy solutions or anything, this intuitive feeling can be wrong, because when you look at intuitions in the problem, intuition gives you kind of like an initial pathway to get started with that. Probably if we start solving the problem in this particular orientation, or with this particular technique, or with this particular data structure, it can get solved. There is a chance that once you start solving it and there are a couple of notions that you didn't actually like considered earlier, you might not be able to solve the problem. Okay, so it's not like if you have intuition built up for any particular problem that is going to be 100% solved. But the thing with this intuition is that it will help you to solve the problems faster. The moment you are having an intuitive feeling about any particular problem and you start solving the problem with that and it gets solved correctly, it will save a lot of time with you. Why? Because on the other hand of intuition, what do? You do complete deeper analysis. You write a couple of tests. Like if you remember how you used to solve problems when you had probably solved just 10 or 15 odd questions. For every single question, you try to think about 10 to 15 odd test cases. What will be the answer for this test case? What will be the answer for that test case? Once you have solved all the test cases, like 15 odd test cases, then you see, okay, whether we are able to do some mathematical analysis or not. If not, then let's start reading the problem again and see whether there is something in the problem statement that is coming up or not, and so on. So you try to do deeper analysis, you try to look at data, you try to look at the pattern at that point of time, which takes a lot of time. But let's say if you are giving an online coding test for a company, you have probably 60 minutes, 45 minutes. You cannot do that much level of deeper analysis in every single problem. Take an example of any recursive problem. The moment you were introduced to recursion, maybe in the initial 5 to 7 questions, there is a chance that you were having a habit of drawing the call stack of every single recursion problem. And you might be demanding this from your instructor as well, that please draw the call stack, we are not able to visualize it. But the moment you have solved 30, 35, 40, 45 questions around in recursion, that call stack requirement goes off. You are able to intuitively write a recursive relation and assume that this is going to work fine and try to decide on the self work, right? So this is what the difference between intuition and deeper analysis is. When you do deeper analysis, it takes a lot of time, but yes, it will give you kind of like more correct solution, but it is going to take good amount of time, a good amount of paperwork and all. Intuition, on the other hand, is going to be something that based on the past experiences, based on the past 45 recursive problems that you have solved, the moment you start solving the 46th problem, which is going to be solved by recursion, you are able to put all of that knowledge immediately in place. It's kind of like the gut feeling. It's kind of like the way you move your steering in a traffic like situation where you don't have to like calculate that, okay, the car on the left is like 10 meters from me, the car in the front is like 20 meters from me. If I will rotate my car steering with like 20-degree angle, I will be able to move. You don't do that, right? You have a gut feeling that probably this much amount of steering is gonna be good for me. That is what intuition is. And the only way to improve intuition is to solve more problem, is to have a good amount of knowledge base behind you in order to solve this problem. Why intuition is important and helpful in problem solving? Now, as I mentioned, intuition is going to be extremely important in scenarios where you have a time-bound situation. Let's say you are in an online coding test, some kind of competitive programming coding test, or maybe some face-to-face interviews where you do not have like the whole day to think about the problem, and you have to think about the problem in relatively a more faster way, right? So this is the main benefit of intuition. So there is a book named as CP3, right? In CP3, if you start reading the chapter of dynamic programming, in the chapter of dynamic programming, they have classified the problems of dynamic programming into 5 to 6 categories. One category is your knapsack category, where you pick, not pick kind of stuff. One category is, let's say, your bitwise, like DP with bit masking kind of strategy, where you have traveling salesman kind of problems and so on. So they have like categorized problems in 5 to 7 scenarios, and they have given a lot of problems on those scenarios so that you can get a more deeper understanding altogether. Now, once you have solved and you know that, okay, there are 5 to 8 patterns that are going to be solvable for general DP questions. The moment a new question comes up and you are able to analyze that, okay, probably this is going to be the DP, then among the 8 different approaches, which one of those you have to apply, you will be able to think very fast. For example, with DP with bit masking, generally there will be some constraint which is going to be extremely on the smaller side, let's say somewhere around 20, 25, because generally for bit masking solution, the complexity analysis has some kind of an exponent term, so you don't have a huge value, because then the exponent is going to be extremely humongous, right? Or let's say for a knapsack like strategy, generally you might have a situation where you have to consider all the possible solution, kind of like all the possible subsets, and the moment you have to create all the possible subset and filter out a couple of things, you do that pick not pick strategy and so on. So intuition is going to be helpful for not just figuring out solutions faster, but also in most of the cases figuring out solution in a more accurate way, right? Whenever I teach something around DSA, to build up the intuition, I generally take one consideration, that when you are actually learning DSA, what you can actually do is you can try to think that if, let's say, somebody would have thought about this particular problem for the very first time, what are the things that they have in their knowledge base and how somebody would have thought about this for the very first time. For example, consider heap sort. Heap sort is an algorithm in which kind of like you have some part already sorted, and in an unsorted part you have to pick either the minimum or the maximum. Now, if you carefully try to understand, this same strategy is applied in selection sort. The only difference is in the unsorted, I would say, structure, when you have to get the exact element, you try to do linear search, but you just replace that with a heap data structure in heap sort. Otherwise, most of the things around selection sort and heap sort is absolutely same. So I would highly recommend you guys to start analyzing problems, start solving more problems, and see what are the different patterns of problems that you have in your knowledge base. If you want a dedicated video on different type of patterns of problem, I'm happy to make that. Do let me know in the comment section, and try to see that once you start solving newer problems, are you able to get some intuition so that you can get started with the problem right away, or you are not able to get some intuition altogether. Right, let me know what is the knowledge base that you have, how many problems you have solved, and whether they are actually helping you to build up the intuition or not. That being said, let's wrap this particular video here. In the further upcoming set of videos, we are going to talk about some more interesting concepts that are going to be extremely helpful for you in building up your career in computer science. Till then, take care, bye bye. I'm Sanket Singh, signing off.